之夜要来庆祝台湾在过去1整年来在性别平等运动上面推动的成果。那在今天的直播当中呢，会有好几个平台同时来做直播。除了我们总统蔡英文的脸书之外呢，也会在外交部、国家妇女馆以及我个人的脸书同步直播。那今天呢，这个晚宴当中，这段直播我会跟大家分享几件事情。第一个呢，是会带大家抢先看今天会场的所有亮点。那再来呢，也会带大家来全程转播今天的活动现场。那最后，我们也会去突袭总统带着外交部长，还有我们的外交使节团，一起呢来去看台湾民间 NGO 在性别平等以及在气候行动上面的一些成果，请大家千万不要错过，就算中间错过了，也要记得回来继续看哦。那今天的整个晚宴刚刚讲了这么多，有很多的亮点，对不对？我现在跟大家分享一下。首先，第一个呢，就是在我们现在的这个场地，大家看一下这附近。这个场地呢，简直就是今天的第一大亮点。这是我们外交部的台北宾馆。台北宾馆呢，拥有100年的历史我等一下再来跟大家介绍。那第二个亮点呢，也就是我们今年的主题——女力之夜。今年的主题呢是气候行动与女力外交。为什么会选择这个主题呢？其实代表的是台湾整体对于无论是受到战乱、还是灾害、还是气候变迁影响的女性，以及所有性别的人都非常的关心，也给予支持。那我们透过这个主题呢，来去显示我们愿意跟全球伙伴站在一起，希望能够持续推动性别平等的决心。好的，那介绍完这两件事情呢，我要来介绍一下刚刚说到这个场馆咯。其实呢，我们的台北宾馆呢是在1899年就建造了，也就是日治时代的时候就建造的。它过去呢其实是我们总督的官邸，所以一直都是台湾政治当中非常重要的一个场域哦。那时至今日，它经过了好多次的整修改建。那我们很多的历史学家跟建筑学家其实是非常用心的，在想办法让这个建筑还原到它当初最像的样子。那现在看到台北宾馆，其实它最重要的功能呢，就是接待外宾、举办国宴，还有大型的文化活动，就像是今天。那台北宾馆呢，大家现在听的已经很想要来参观，对不对？其实从2006年开始台北宾馆就已经开放给民众都可以来参观了。那民众要怎么来参观呢？就是上网来去申请报名预约。那只要通过了之后，我们就可以来参观台北宾馆咯。不瞒大家说，其实呢，今天也是因为有女力之夜托大家的福，所以我才第一次来到台北宾馆。那所以呢，刚刚的那个建筑介绍，如果有一点点落差的话，请大家多包涵。那现在呢，我们跟着我来看看这边我们看到我的后方有4个很大的展板。这4个展板呢，其实是介绍台湾在性别平等推动的历史上面很重要的一些事件跟里程碑。我们看到从最一开始，其实台湾性别平等推动呢，花了好多的时间在推动我们的劳动权益，还有包括女性的工作权等等。那后来呢，一直开始到女性的政治参与权，包含我们看到彭婉如女士的画像在这边其实也都代表着下一个推进。那彭婉如女士的事件之后，大家非常的痛心，然而呢，也让更多人去意识到了，无论是基于性别的暴力，或者是其他等等的危险，也是我们希望能够持续琢磨的地方。那在下一个阶段，我们看到了台湾这几年非常被世界所熟知的，也非常骄傲的一个事件那就是我们在2019年的时候，成为了全亚洲第一个同性婚姻合法化的国家。那么呢，也代表了一件事情，就是台湾的性别运动也开始走向更加多元化，关注更多的面向，这样子的一个里程碑。那时至今日呢，我们其实看到台湾性别平等的运动也开始跟其他更多的 SDGs， 就是联合国的永续发展目标，也一起来做结合。所以呢，像是今年的这个主题，我们的气候行动与女力外交，就是非常明显跟标准的一个成果，跟代表我们的决心。好，那现在继续跟着我来往前走，我们要慢慢经过玄关走到主场馆咯。我们在这边稍作停顿一下今天好不容易都直播了，我一定要好好利用这个机会来工商服务一下。其实呢，刚刚提到台湾性别平等的运动推动至今，开始关注更多元面向的性别平等的议题。那其实我自己创办的组织小红帽呢 With Red， 它其实也就是在关注其中一个很多元面向的性别议题，它在关注的是月经平权。我们在解决的是月经贫穷污名化的问题。那其实也在去年非常荣幸的获得 得了英国戴安娜人道主义奖的殊荣。那我们是第一个获得这个奖项的台湾团队，而这件事情最重要的呢，其实是真的能够让世界看见我们在性别平等运动推动上面的决心、动能，也让世界看见台湾是很重视 diversity and inclusion 的。那我们赶快来移动到我们的主场馆吧。哇，现在已经有好多的贵宾进入到我们现场了，我们的活动现场。那我们来看看能不能突袭到一些已经来到现场的贵宾，来访问他们今天的心情吧。众星云集的今天，我有一点不知道要访问谁了，我们来询问看看。咦，啊，来。哦，不然我看到了一个人，我们先来访问一下我们今天的 NGO 代表吧。我们今天的 NGO 代表来自我们多米的 Tammy 姐。Thank you for joining me here. Tammy 姐，能不能跟我们分享一下你此刻的心情？
超级开心，因为这是我第一次到我们台北宾馆，然后我第一次在国际的妇女节参加这样盛大的活动。
那能不能告诉我们今天的活动除了参加以外，你是不是还有一个特殊的环节要来跟谁介绍多米的事情呢？
对啊，哇，超兴奋的，就是今天有机会待会跟我们的总统来报告多米在过去在 climate justice 所做的工作。对。
没错，我们的小英总统等一下也会来到现场。那他等一下来到现场，除了主持我们的仪式，最重要的一件事情就是要领着我们的外交部长还有外交使节团一起来听听我们民间 NGO 努力的成果。那等一下我会再跟多米的 Tammy 姐相见。那等一下大家敬请期待喽。谢谢 Tammy 姐。好，那我们再来看看我们下一位要来访问谁。哇！很害怕挡到大家。我们来看看，大家都现在非常热烈的在讨论，我都不好意思打断大家了。那不如我们来访问一下我们妇权基金会的副执行长好了。哇，刚刚好遇到我们真的是妇女运动的大学姐，我们的范瑜范委员。
学妹好，被你叫学姐太开心了。
对，委员好。委员想要先访问一下你此刻的心情。
今天非常的高兴哦，因为今天是38妇女节，早上我刚好跟10几个女立委，还有我们7、8个妇女 NGO 开了一个38妇女节哦。妇女有3大困境，那我们要推出8个法案来处理哦。那今天傍晚又可以在蔡总统跟我们很多女性的外交使节，跟我们台湾的妇女 NGO 的朋友们一起共度这个美好的傍晚，那我觉得很开心。谢谢你的访问啊，小红帽。
我觉得非常有趣，因为今天下午呢，其实范瑜立委也莅临到我们今天才开展的阿嬷为在国家妇女馆的这个展览，所以非常忙碌的今天就可以看到范立委2次，真的是非常的幸运。那也希望呢今天的活动顺利，预祝等一下一切顺利。
谢谢大家38妇女节快乐！我们要一起我可以宣传一下吗？3大妇女困境。其实第一个困境就是我们还是遇到性别暴力的问题哦。那包含就是网络世代的那个性私密影像，那这个目前都没有法规哦。这一类的问题就是我们第一个困境。因为如果没有安全的话，我们如何能够自在的绽放哦？所以这是第一个困境。那第二个困境呢，其实就是已经进入职场的女性在家庭跟职场之间的平衡，譬如说照顾的工作。那台湾现在生育率很低，很多是因为照顾这个部分还是承担在女性的肩上啊。第3个困境呢，是女性还是面临婚姻跟生育的困境。那进入婚姻呢，可能不会感觉到有不平等的问题，可是离婚的话，目前赡养费的设计，我们之前有看到雷神嘛那 那个是美国的法规，台湾的话其实还是对经济不利的女性不利哦。那生育的部分就是我们目前的所谓的优生保健法，光这优生2个字其实就是有点歧视的感受。那其实里面还是没有给女性完整的生育自主权，所以我们女立委们有8个法案，我们希望能够在今年内，那至少在今年或明年内能够尽速的修改通过。好，不好意思，我们顺便宣传一下，因为今天38妇女节嘛，哈 ，OK。
那呢，我们今天非常感谢委员的刚刚的介绍跟推动。那我们今天其实呢，我们外交部还有妇权基金会有准备了一个 IG 的滤镜，想要来跟委员一起自拍一下。
我们如何自拍 IG 滤镜？
好，我们就直接现场自拍起来哦。
那我们要戴口罩还是拿下口罩？
戴口罩就可以了。好，3、2、1，耶！好的，谢谢委员。好，在这边呢也要特别跟大家分享哦。在这边也要特别跟大家分享，那就是呢，我们的 IG 上面的滤镜，只要打 Taiwan for Climate Justice， 我们就可以看到了。请大家赶快下载，一起来用这个滤镜分享你的照片。好，那么我们现在呢，要慢慢移动，因为我们一个重大的贵宾要来了，请摄影师跟我慢慢一起移动。我们看到这边有非常多的工作人员，那等一下呢，据说我们的魔法部长就要来到现场了。大家这时候有没有很好奇，为什么的外交部要叫魔法部呢？其实就是因为它的英文缩写魔法跟魔法非常的像，所以我们的外交部长也称作魔法部长。那么今天等一下，外交部长呢也会跟我们的总统一起到西乡来去看到我们所有 NGO 在今年要同时推动性别平权还有气候行动的成果。其实我今天有一个小任务，也就是非常的希望能够去跟部长来一起用这个 IG 滤镜做自拍，不过要看等一下有没有这个机会，请大家在线上帮我集气咯。好。现在呢，有另外一位贵宾已经来到现场了，那我们慢慢的走过去，看看有没有机会可以访问他。镜头来到这边 ，Hello， 欣姐可以跟大家打声招呼吗
？Hello， 大家好，我是吕欣杰，我是彩虹平权大平台执行长，是行政院的性平委员。
欣姐今天来到这边的心情，可以跟我们分享一下吗？
就很开心，你看这么多人，而且其实因为38妇女节呢，这国际女人节是其实很重要的一个活动，那也是我们台湾展现女力一个很好的这个时机，这样子，
谢谢欣姐今天来到这里，也希望我们在 LGBTQ+ 的推动上面可以持续越来越顺利。
对，
好，那我们要慢慢的移动了，我们的部长要来了。哇，看一下这边。部长现在已经来到了现场。部长好，部长愿意跟大家打声招呼吗？我们线上的朋友们。
大家好，我是吴钊燮。
好，我们线上有非常多的朋友也一起来关注我们的女力之夜。那部长有没有什么话想要跟大家分享一下关于今天的心情？
今天是国际妇女节，祝所有的妇女同胞大家愉快，大家永远快乐。那我想今天的这个活动是我们外交部主办的，我们也非常希望说能够把今天这个主题分享给国人同胞，大家都能够一起来知道我们妇女对我们台湾、对我们国家、对这个世界的这个贡献。那尤其是今年的这个主题是扣紧气候变迁，也让大家知道说妇女跟气候变迁这2个议题的相关性以及重要性。
非常感谢部长，也谢谢您接受我的访问。那么现在呢，要请部长慢慢移驾到之上，谢谢。好的刚刚没有完成这个要跟部长自拍的任务，不过呢，我们现场也看到了另外一个重要的大来宾已经来到现场喽。I'm very sorry to disturb you, but can I do a short interview with you? just like 2 minutes. We're live right now. Or would you want to say hi to people?
Yes, hello, hello. Happy Women's Day to all of the phenomenal women out there. And we hope that men will join us in celebrating this day.
We're so honored to have you here, Ambassador Huggins. Thank you. 好的，那我们现在要慢慢的来移动到外面，我们今天的活动准备要开始了。等一下呢，我们就会将镜头转往主会场，那也希望大家可以全程跟我们一起来参与今天的女力之夜。好。
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Women's Power Night. The event will begin in 5 minutes. Please take your seat. We would also like to remind you that other than on the stage, please wear the face mask at all times, and please turn off your cell phone or switch it to silent. Thank you for your cooperation. 各位贵宾，欢迎莅临女力之夜。活动即将于5分钟后正式开始，请各位贵宾尽速就座。另外也提醒大家，为了配合防疫规定，贵宾在上台致辞还有合照的时候，可以不用佩戴口罩，其余的时间麻烦请全程佩戴口罩，并提醒贵宾请将手机关机或调为震动。谢谢您的配合。Distinguished guests, please welcome Her Excellency Tsai Ing-wen, President of the Republic of China, Taiwan, with a warm round of applause. 各位贵宾，请以热烈的掌声欢迎中华民国蔡英文总统莅临会场。总统好，请就座 ，Please be seated. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the 2022 Women's Power Night. This is the grand opening of the Taiwan Gender Equality Week, TGEW, jointly organized by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Foundation of Women's Rights Promotion and Development. This year's edition of TGEW echoes the theme of the 66th session of the UN Commission on the Status of Women, Achieving Gender Equality and Climate Justice. Other TGEW activities include an online Climate Justice Leaders Forum on March 15th and record-high 27 parallel meetings organized by Taiwan's NGOs from March 14th to 25th. 各位贵宾，大家晚安，欢迎莅临女力之夜，为外交部与财团法人妇女权益促进发展基金会共同举办的台湾性别平等周亮丽揭幕。为了配合联合国妇女地位委员会第66届大会主题，也就是推动性别平等与气候正义， 其他的活动还包括了3月15日举办的气候正义领袖线上论坛。从3月14到25号，台湾的 NGO 将会参与 CSW 66，共计27场平行会议，可说是精彩可期。So before we kick off today's program, our photographers will take photos from the stage, and we hope that all of the participants can join us on this photo shoot. 所以我们在活动开始之前，要邀请全场的贵宾，麻烦请看向台上的摄影官，我们一起进行大合照。好，请看向这台相机。好，我们轻松活泼一点，帮我们伸出大拇指比个赞好吗？我们今天的活动全程都会在脸书还有 YouTube 上直播 ，So say hi to Taiwan's friends from the world. Thank you very much. 谢谢。好 and next we are going to play a short video about the challenges of climate change for women and how Taiwanese women take actions. 各位贵宾，接下来我们将播放台湾女力形象影片，请欣赏。
Climate change does not affect everyone equally. Among people displaced by climate change, 80% are women. We rise. We fight. We are not just victims. We are change makers. We choose green energy. We restore the environment. We make lifestyle changes. We recycle. We get together for a better future.
The heart of the Paris Agreement is still beating.
We can start change right now.
We want to change the world, and we can.
So we can leave a better world for our future generations.
Power of women. Taiwan in the world for a better tomorrow.
谢谢。With the joint efforts from Taiwan's government and NGOs, Taiwan has made great achievements in promoting gender equality. And through the TGEW, Taiwan would like to present the results of women-led actions for climate justice and learn from the world's best practices. 在台湾政府以及非政府组织的努力之下，台湾在推动性别平等已经有具体的成果。而透过性别平等周，我们也将积极展现女性领导推动气候正义的具体成果。Now, tonight's host, His Excellency Zhao Xie Joseph Wu, Minister of Foreign Affairs, would like to say a few words. 我们接下来由今晚的主人外交部吴钊燮部长上台致辞，掌声欢迎。部长可以将口罩摘下，谢谢。
President Tsai, Ambassador Jasmine Huggins, Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Excellency Ambassadors, Honorable Representatives, fellow Cabinet colleagues, members of the Gender Equality Committee of the Executive and NGO leaders, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm honored to host today's event for International Women's Day and meet with the female leaders from the diplomatic community, government agencies, civil society, and the private sector. On behalf of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere gratitude to women everywhere for making our world a better place. International Women's Day has become a global celebration for all the great achievements women make domestically and internationally. Moreover, it has become a meaningful occasion to advocate for gender equality. Thanks to the combined efforts of the public sector and civil society, Taiwan has made great strides these years on our pursuit of gender equality. In particular, our NGOs have played a key role in ensuring good governance and closer connections with international partners, allowing us to bring our efforts to fruition more effectively and profoundly. Our achievements in bridging the gap, gender gap, what that is, have received recognition from all over the world, and I want to thank you all for making this possible. This year, the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women identifies the link between gender equality and climate change as a priority for its 66th session. I'm happy to share with you that MOVA is launching a series of events this month to echo this important discussion. Following the Women's Power Night tonight, there will be a webinar on March 15th to bring together climate justice leaders worldwide for an in-depth discussion. And from March 14th to 25th, we will celebrate the Taiwan Gender Equality Week, during which time dozens of parallel meetings in the NGO CSW virtual forum will take place. For these events, we have invited women leaders worldwide who are fighting for climate justice to share their stories and visions. By initiating this dialogue, we hope to raise awareness of women's disproportionate suffering from climate change. More importantly, we wish to inspire people through these stories on how female can play a vital role in protecting the planet. And I sincerely invite you all to stay tuned for these coming events. In closing, thank you all for your active participation in environmental protection and gender equality movements. I applaud your commitment. By joining hands, I'm confident that we can mitigate the climate crisis and enhance the status of women in a sustainable world for generations to come. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the event tonight.
Thank you very much, Minister Wu. Please return to your seat. Thank you. 谢谢部长。Next, we would like to invite Her Excellency Jasmine Huggins, Head of the Diplomatic Corps and Ambassador of St. Kitts and Nevis to the ROC Taiwan, to give us her remarks. 接下来有请驻台使节团团长圣克里斯多福尼维斯哈丁斯大使为我们致辞。
Thank you.
You can remove your facial mask. Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you. Her Excellency Dr. Tsai Ing-wen, President of the Republic of China, Taiwan. His Excellency Dr. Joseph Wu, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of China, Taiwan. His Excellency David Lee, Secretary General to the President, Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors, and Honorable Representatives of Foreign Offices, members of the Gender Equality Committee of the Executive Yuan, leaders from NGOs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, friends from the media, good evening, Wan An, and good day to listeners online. Today, Tuesday, March 8th, 2022, is International Women's Day. Today, people all over the world are taking time to acknowledge, to honor, to record, and to proclaim the indispensable role that women continue to play in the global development. This year's focus on International Women's Day goes a step further than previous observances. The United Nations calls upon us as global citizens to take notice of the leadership contributions of women and girls insofar as climate change adaptation, mitigation and response, and sustainable development are concerned. Hence, the UN's selection of this year's theme, Gender Equality for a Sustainable Tomorrow. This theme illuminates possibilities when the value and worth of 1/2 of the global population are recognized and appreciated. Gender equality, much more than a slogan and long and elusive aspiration, brings immeasurable benefits that transform lives, communities, and nations. Yet, The snail's pace of progress has done little to bring about this metamorphosis. According to a gender gap report, the current rate of progress towards gender equality is so slow that it will take another 100 years to achieve that goal. Equally apparent, yet often overlooked, is the essential role of gender equality to the Sustainable Development Agenda. The deliberate choice of this year's theme builds upon the focus of similar observances for the past several years, which were concentrated on gender equality. But the broad, adverse, and unrelenting impact of climate change compel a recognition that women are an essential component in the ongoing fight to protect and preserve our planet. We can never successfully achieve the global climate change agenda without the involvement and leadership of women and girls. This is so for myriad reasons, including the fact that women are by nature the primary nurturers and caregivers in families, that women make up 43% of the global agricultural labor force in developing countries, and that the agricultural sector is underperforming because of the many constraints faced by women which affect their productivity. The global pandemic also exacerbated the slow rate of progress and disproportionately affected females throughout the workforce. The repercussions of these restraints are most evident in developing countries and fuel the disparities from which one can hardly escape. What is indisputable and largely ignored also are the ripple effects caused by these impediments and their transnational and cross-cutting. I might add here that the consequences of war also have a devastating impact on women and girls. Moreover, a statistic from 2019 produced by the World Bank showed that only 6 countries out of 189 gave equal rights to men and women in relation to laws affecting access to employment and entrepreneurial activity. The likelihood of change since then would have largely depended on fundamental shifts in institutions, legal frameworks, and mindsets regarding archaic assumptions about women in leadership positions, given the dynamic and courageous stewardship that is demonstrated by a female leader right here in beautiful Taiwan. It has been noted that at least 1/2 of the economic growth of nations is attributed to girls having been educated. It is therefore imperative that as women, they now be gainfully employed with wages and salaries aligned with those of their male counterparts. This would ensure sustainable development in their spheres of influence. Gender equality fosters economic growth. Economic growth positively impacts sustainable development. The link, therefore, between gender equality and sustainable development is inescapable and obvious, and reveals why we must promote gender equality in all areas of human endeavor. For the good of the planet, for the good of everyone, let us recommit to this ideal today. 谢谢. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Huggins. Please return to your seat. Thank you. Our next speaker exemplifies Taiwan's efforts and progress in gender equality. She's the first female president in Taiwan, and under her leadership, Taiwan is the first country in Asia to legalize marriage equality. Her administration has promoted various policies to advance gender equality. So please welcome Her Excellency Tsai Ing-wen, President of the Republic of China, Taiwan, to give us her remarks. 我们有请蔡总统上台为我们致辞。
Name of the diplomatic corps, Ambassador Huggins,
Your Excellencies, honorable representatives, distinguished leaders from across the government, the private sector, and the civil society. Minister Wu, of course, Minister Chen Shizhong is here too, and my esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Oh, first, I want to say this first before I read my script. I have no bias or preference for women ambassadors, you know. But I do appreciate that we have so many women members of our diplomatic corps. But before I begin, I want to send my condolences to the people of Australia who have lost loved ones in the recent floods. I hope those affected can resume normal lives as soon as possible. And I want you to know that Taiwan stands ready to help. It is my pleasure to be here today in the company of so many amazing women. I would like to thank the Minister and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for hosting this event to mark International Women's Day. I also want to thank the Foundation of the Women's Rights Promotion and the Development for working with the Ministry to host this year's Taiwan Gender Equality Week. The events to come this week will focus on women and climate action, echoing the theme of the 66th section of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. Those events give us a chance to share Taiwan's progress in promoting gender equality and climate justice. They are also to recognize the incredible accomplishments and contributions of women in Taiwan and around the globe. Let me take this opportunity to thank the women here tonight and across Taiwan for all that you do in ways big and small, to improve this country and the world that we live in. Give yourself a round of applause. As I have said before, as president, I have a duty to promote women's empowerment both at home and abroad. I very much look forward to the day when phrases like female president and women president are things of the past. I'm proud to say that Taiwan always stands on the forefront, spearheading efforts to promote gender equality and women empowerment. In this area, we have made great strides. According to the latest report released by the Executive Yuan, Taiwan ranks 6th of the 163 countries around the world in overall gender equality and 1st in Asia. And women accounts for more than 42% of our nation's legislators. Some of them are here. Would you raise your hands? This is well above the world's average. Here at home, progressive policies has been key to our efforts to promote gender equality. Among other measures, the Gender Equality Policy Guidelines issued in 2011 have helped drive progress across a wide range of sectors. In addition, we'll soon finish a major comprehensive review of our laws and policies to bring them further in line with international standards on human rights and gender equality. Taiwan also continues to pursue bold engagements with like-minded nations and international organizations to promote women's empowerment. We have joined Indo-Pacific partners in innovative regional initiatives for women's economic empowerment. And our civil society organizations maintain a robust presence at the NGO Forum of the UN Commission on the Status of Women. Thanks to their efforts, we have been able to share our experiences with the world, particularly in achieving sustainable development goals for gender equality and women's empowerment, and also to forge stronger links with global partners. Such concerted efforts are critical for tackling global issues such as the climate challenge. As we saw in the short film just earlier, 80% of those displaced by climate change are women, who bear a disproportionate share of its effects. This is an issue that Taiwan is working to tackle through forward-looking climate change policy. In fact, our discussions on how to update our laws to combat climate change have highlighted gender equality and the rights of the disadvantaged groups. With our creativity and resilience, women can be powerful agents of change. Only with the participation of women can we hope to develop the solutions needed to address climate change, realize climate justice, and ensure sustainable development. I'm sure that with civil society and government working together, we'll make further advancement towards our goal. I want to thank you all for taking part in Women's Power Night and in Taiwan Gender Equality Week. Your achievements and voices continue to inspire more women and girls to participate in public affairs and work towards a more sustainable and equitable society. Thank you, and happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, President Tsai, for your warm remarks. Please return to your seat. Due to the pandemic, some of Taiwan's good friends abroad cannot join us today, but we are honored to have received messages from 3 outstanding women leaders to share with us their support for Taiwan and climate justice. 由于疫情，台湾的一些国际友人今天无法亲临现场，但我们非常荣幸能够收到3位非常杰出的女性领导人分享的影片，展现他们对台湾以及对于气候正义的支持。First of all, we would like to play the video by the Honorable Jerlin Udak Sangabao Sr., Vice President of the Republic of Palau. 首先为大家播放的是帛琉习五度副总统的影片，请欣赏。
Happy International Women's Day. Climate change has had and continues to have serious ramifications in 4 dimensions of food security: food availability, food accessibility, food utilization, and food systems stability. Climate justice and women's empowerment are concepts which go hand in hand, and the effects of which ripple throughout our society, nations in our Asia-Pacific region, touching upon global issues such as sea level rise to local issues of resource scarcity and food security. In Palau, our taro patches move ever inland while tides continue to rise, while our fishermen travel further out to sea as fish populations dwindle. There is a growing concern and recognition of the disproportionate impact that climate change has on women. Yet it is important to recognize more than the vulnerabilities, the critical role women play as powerful change agents to address climate change at scale. There are tremendous social, economic, and climate resilient benefits that gender equality and women's empowerment bring. In today's world, the key challenge is to systematically incorporate gender equality and women's empowerment into our operational response to climate change at the local, national, and regional levels. In Palau, we have an ancient, deep-seated respect for women and their key role in society, leading the progression of our nation through love of people and community and country, and a sense of responsibility to these 3. Today, women are key actors in building community resilience and responding to climate-related disasters. Women tend to make decisions about resource use and investments in the interest and welfare of their children, families, and communities. Women as economic and political actors influence policies and institutions towards greater provision of public goods, such as energy, water and sanitation, and social infrastructure, which tend to matter more to women and support climate resilience and disaster preparedness. As women, we are so deeply interconnected to our communities and have a holistic perspective of the land we work, the sea we depend on for its bounty, and of our needs, as well as those of our families and communities. Because of these, women's voices in decisions and policymaking are imperative for lasting sustainable development. Addressing gender gaps specifically and systematically in our response to climate change today is one of the most effective mechanisms to build the climate resilience of families, communities, nations, and our shared region tomorrow. As a woman leader and climate justice advocate, I am committed to championing these new solutions by putting women at the center of adaptation, mitigation, and disaster risk management efforts, improving the lives and resilience of people in our region, and making a climate-compatible economy a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President. 我们谢谢帛琉副总统。Next, we would like to play the video by the Honorable U.S. Congresswoman Jennifer Wexton. 接下来播放的是美国众议员 Jennifer Wexton 的影片，请欣赏。
Happy International Women's Day. Climate change has had...
Hello, my name is Jennifer Wexton and I represent Virginia's 10th District in the United States House of Representatives. Thank you for inviting me to share a few words with you today at this meeting ahead of the Commission on the Status of Women to talk about how essential it is to ensure the equality of women and girls as our world adapts to climate change. Taiwan has been a valued partner to the United States, and at a time when democracies around the world are facing sustained challenges, the U.S. commitment to Taiwan is as strong as ever. I would like to thank President Tsai Ing-wen and Foreign Minister Joseph Wu for their strong commitment to women's rights, addressing the effects of climate change, and their commitment to democracy in Taiwan and across the globe. Just last week, the IPCC released a major new report finding that countries are not doing enough to adapt to the damaging effects of climate change, meaning that our cities, coastlines, and farmlands are going to see even more extreme impacts from rising sea levels, droughts, and intense storms. But these impacts will not be felt equally. We know that women are on the front lines of this crisis and will continue to bear the brunt of many of climate change's most devastating effects. And in many countries, women don't even have a seat at the table where the decisions are being made about how to confront the climate crisis. We therefore cannot talk about climate change resiliency without talking about advancing women's equality. I want to applaud you all for your progress and commitment to both of these issues. Taiwan understands the dangers of climate change better than many places because it is your communities who will feel the consequences sooner and more intensely than others. The commitments that you've made to reduce emissions and advance sustainability will help keep those communities safe. Taiwan has also been a leader for women's empowerment and women's development across the region. But these challenges are not ones that any one government can solve on their own. Over the past year here in the U.S., we've worked to re-engage with the global community to achieve our collective climate goals, and it remains a top priority for me personally and for many of my colleagues in Congress. At every opportunity, we will pursue partnership to bring down global emissions, develop resiliency measures, and deliver the resources vulnerable communities across the globe need to adapt. We have a great chance to do just that at the upcoming Commission on the Status of Women. As we approach this conference, it's my hope that all participants appreciate what is at risk for the advancement of women's equality and development if we do not tackle the threats of climate change. The IPCC's new report has made it clear that the consequences will be severe if we do not take swift action. Let this conference be a meaningful step. Thank you once again to all of those who have helped make this meeting possible. I'm always proud to be a friend and an advocate for the people of Taiwan.
Thank you, Congresswoman Wexton. Thank you. And next, we would like to play the video by the Honorable U.S. Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. 接下来为大家播放的是美国众议员 Debbie Lesko 的影片，请欣赏。
Hi, I'm U.S. Congresswoman Debbie Lesko from the great state of Arizona. I represent parts of Phoenix and the suburbs of Phoenix. Thank you so much for inviting me to speak to you today. I am a strong supporter of Taiwan. I'm also a strong supporter of women's equality and rights. I was the co-chair of the Women's Caucus in Congress, and I'm currently the co-chair of the Women in STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math in Congress as well. I also want to say that in my district, the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation is building their facility there right now. Thank you to all of you, and please make sure that you reach out to me if you ever need my help. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you once again to our friends from abroad for their great support. 我们再次感谢国际友人对台湾的支持。Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for the ceremony. 各位贵宾，接下来我们将进入2022 TGEW 的启动仪式。And now we would like to invite the distinguished guests to come up to the stage. 接下来我们请唱到名的贵宾，麻烦请上台就定位。首先，让我们欢迎气候少女王宣如，也是政府制定塑胶吸管禁令的推手 ，Young Climate Activist in Taiwan， 王宣如，掌声欢迎。接下来，让我们欢迎 President of the Foundation of Women's Rights Promotion and Development 陈时中部长，同时也是妇权会董事长，有请。And next, we would like to invite Ambassador Huggins, Minister Wu, and President Tsai. Please come up to the stage. 好，我们麻烦请贵宾准备。You can remove your face mask. 我们请台上的贵宾可以先将口罩摘下。现在呢，我们有请总统以及部长带领贵宾，麻烦请将您的一只手放到透明的球体上。So please place your hand on the globe. 我们要准备好，大家待会儿可以看到气体会从污浊变得干净，代表我们对于气候变迁对抗的决心。So everyone, please now join me in a countdown. Are you ready? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The video shows that Mother Earth emerges from the ocean, holding the beautiful island of Taiwan in her hands, symbolizing the importance of safeguarding the environment and holding climate change. So once again, a round of applause to our distinguished guests. 我们再次掌声，谢谢台上的贵宾。我们请贵宾麻烦在台上看向前方的相机。So please look at the cameras in the front. 我们先进行第一轮的大合照。好，请看向前方。好，帮我们伸出大拇指比个赞好吗？ Give us your thumbs up。 好，谢谢。我们请贵宾在台上稍待，我们接下来要邀请更多的贵宾上台。那在此同时呢，大家在影片中刚才可以看到，犹如大地之母的女性身躯从海平面浮起，轻捧着台湾，这就象征着我们共同以温柔的力量来支持气候正义，迈向更加宜居以及理想的未来。我们今天有非常多的贵宾在现场，所以接下来我们要邀请更多的贵宾一起上台。And now we're going to invite more guests to join us in the photo call. 我们有请行政院罗秉成政务委员、内政部徐国勇部长、法务部蔡清祥部长、劳动部许明春部长。接下来让我们继续欢迎科技部吴正中部长、行政院人事总处苏俊荣人事长、公平交易委员会李美主任委员、监察院纪惠荣委员、立法院范云委员、国家安全会议徐思俭副秘书长、行政院信评会叶德兰委员、行政院信评会陈曼丽委员、行政院信评会关晓维委员以及行政院信评会吕新杰委员。So now we have invited the important cabinet members and also important committee members. 我们可以请贵宾将口罩摘下。So please remove your face mask. 麻烦请贵宾看向前方的相机。好，口罩可以摘下来，谢谢我们台上的贵宾，请看向前方的相机。好，一样请贵宾帮我们伸出大拇指比个赞好吗 ？Give us your thumbs up。再次掌声，谢谢我们的贵宾，谢谢。我们现在请台上的贵宾，我们有请我们的总统部长，吴部长、陈部长、Ambassador Huggins 还有王宣如5位，请继续在台上留步。其他的贵宾，麻烦请舞台的左手，麻烦请先回座。我们请第一轮的5位贵宾继续留在台上。And now we're going to invite more guests to come up to the stage to join the photo call. So on this auspicious occasion, we are honored to have invited members of the diplomatic corps. 我们有请 please welcome Her Excellency Ambassador Dolmay Luisa Okril of the Republic of Palau, Her Excellency Ambassador Limasin Tiatu of Tuvalu, Her Excellency Ambassador Nejon Rema Edwards of the Republic of the Marshall Islands, Her Excellency Ambassador Andrea Claire Bauman of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Her Excellency Ambassador Annie Yamileth.
那么现在呢，画面转向这边，我们已经来到了台北宾馆的西厢。那现在呢，我看到我的左手边有非常多紧张又兴奋，以及非常热情的我们的 NGO 伙伴已经在这里 stand by 了。我们来看看，今年呢，我们其实有5位 NGO 的伙伴代表，那他们等一下将会跟部长、还有总统以及我们的外宾一起来分享我们这一年在气候行动还有女力外交上面做了哪些努力。那现在呢，陈总统还没有来之前，我们先来访问一下今年 NGO 代表的心情吧。我们来看到的是长期在花莲致力于食育教育的我们回游爸的文琪。文琪，你现在的心情如何？
有一点紧张，但还 OK。
昨天有没有特别为了今天要跟总统还有部长介绍做哪些准备呢？
有，就是英文几个单字有在，就再确认一下，确定等一下是就是用字是 OK 的这样。
了解。好，那有没有哪些东西是你一定要让部长跟总统知道的？
是台湾其实就是一个海岛，所以其实也很高兴在这一次外交部的邀请，可以让大家一起来认识，就是台湾其实就在岛屿上面的我们怎么去认识台湾的海洋，透过鱼。所以今天很高兴有这个机会，可以跟小英总统这边来跟大家分享。
我们非常谢谢文琪哦，这也是我们好几次见面了，但是今天看到文琪，非常的开心。好，那我接下来要来访问一下我们 Untitled 的我们的孟轩。孟轩现在心情如何呢？
超紧张，总统进来了，非常紧张。
我们看到总统已经即将要进场了，所以等一下呢，可能随时画面会切过去，我们要来看到总统莅临到现场。但趁现在呢，来孟轩要不要跟我们分享一下，有没有什么事情是特别一定要让总统跟部长知道的？孟轩已经紧张到说不出话来了。那我们大家在线上的朋友一起来给孟轩加油打气好吗？那么现在呢，趁着还有时间，我们来看一下，我们来访问，我们是主妇联盟的古组长，主妇联盟的股长有没有什么事情想要一定要跟大家分享的呢？
现在其实也是有点紧张，因为好像随时外宾就要走进来了，就是在听那个脚步声。对，那主要就是今天其实是蛮高兴有这个机会，所以跟大家跟国外跟就是国内的朋友们一起分享，就是我们最近做的一些就是关于气候变迁跟女性的一些工作。对，所以就是很期待，就是之后才有机会跟大家一起分享。
我们非常谢谢古组长，那么也非常谢谢主妇联盟一直在台湾长期推动关于环境永续还有我们性别平权的这些努力，我们都是看着主妇联盟长大的。好的，那么下一位呢？趁着还有时间，我们来访问一下今天最年轻的代表，我们 Miss Echo 的伙伴。那 Miss Echo 的伙伴有没有什么一定要跟大家分享的呢？
就是今天很开心可以来到这个场合，然后可以跟大家介绍循环经济，然后可以过一个更永续的生活，这样子。
好的，非常谢谢。那我们现在画面转向总统，已经进入到现场了。
The diminution of the rainforest is real. Because of the time constraint, I won't go into all the details about the stories that have been told here. However, I would like to share a very compelling one. That there were two female climate activists, one from the Marshall Islands, the other one from the Greenland. Together, they wrote a poem called Rise from One Island.
现在大家在我身后看到的呢，是我们的总统领军外交部长以及我们的外宾使节团已经来到我们台北宾馆的西厢。那现在呢，他们正在听的呢是全世界对于气候变迁、对于气候行动，还有对于性别平权有哪些关注的地方，以及哪些还可以再更努力的地方。那我们等一下在这个介绍结束之后，就会来到我们刚刚大家都非常紧张的我们 NGO 伙伴要来跟总统还有外交部长来分享。除了国际上面关注的议题之外呢，我们在台湾在地有哪些行动，也是呢希望能够被更多世界的伙伴看见，还有他们长期努力的成果。那也趁着现在还有一点时间，我也来特别介绍一下刚刚每一位 NGO 伙伴的组织。我们来看一下，刚刚每一位 NGO 伙伴组织，除了我们提到的长期在致力于食育教育的我们的回游吧，然后还有我们的无包装商店，我们的 Untitled Chapter， 然后呢还有我们的主妇联盟，以及呢我们非常年轻的团队，我们的 Miss Echo， 以及长期在推动能源的我们的 Domi。好，那等一下呢，现在总统已经移动到了第2个展板，也是持续的在听我们关于性别平权的这样子运动的介绍。刚刚在听的是气候行动。趁着这个时候也特别宣传一下就是我们今年外交部跟我们妇权基金会有特别因应现在社群媒体的持续更新，所以呢有特别准备了一个 Instagram 的滤镜，所以大家请记得要拿另外一个装置一个装置要记得持续看我们的直播，另外一个装置再来用我们的滤镜来跟大家一起拍一下合照，来表达我们支持气候正义也支持性别平权的决心。哇，现在来到了大家最紧张的环节了，我们已经开始 NGO 伙伴要跟总统还有外交部长还有我们的外宾使节团要来介绍他们这几年来一直在台湾在地推动的成果。那现在在讲话的呢，就是我们刚刚有访问到的我们长期在花莲在地推动食育教育的回游吧的文琪。好的，那现在文琪呢在跟他们介绍说就是在花莲的时候他们怎么让台湾作为海岛的子民，其实我们离这片海非常非常的近，台湾基本上只有南投是不靠海的，但我们常常说自己是海岛的子民，却对于海洋是非常陌生的。我自己呢印象非常深刻的就是在《男人与他的大海》这一部电影里面就有提到一句话，就是我们明明跟海这么近，但是却对海很害怕、很陌生、很不熟悉。那也谢谢文琪持续在花莲推动食育教育，让更多人可以认识海洋，与海洋共存。那我们现在看到第2位正在介绍的就是我们的 Untitled 的伙伴。那我们 Untitled 的伙伴呢，他们是创立了无包装的商店，还有提到说他其实是过往受到国外的启发，发现说其实买东西也不一定要有包装嘛，其实很多时候我们买了这些包装回到家中都是会被丢掉的，那这些包装呢其实也就会浪费掉了，浪费掉其实对于环境上面也是有一些伤害跟影响的，所以他们希望能够透过无包装商店的方式，能够让大家更永续的生活，也能够更友善环境。那现在第3位正在介绍的是我们主妇联盟的股组长。主妇联盟真的是过往30几年都持续在台湾这片土地上面持续推动永续，持续推动性别平权议题的一个组织我刚刚也说了，我自己其实真的就是看着主妇联盟一起长大的。
Thank you very much. I'm
拍得到，可以啊，我只能这样子。我跟那个主持人。
And we're involving students, ambassadors from 60 countries here in Taiwan to help move the movement forward. And just last week, we won the ICTF competition to move the project to Paraguay, our friendly countries. Hopefully, we'll have the chance to go forward to the countries too soon one day. Thank you. So, because I really believe every small action matters, and the power to change means that everyone has the power to make this world better. Thank you.
Okay, because of the time constraint, that concludes our exhibition here. Ambassadors are welcome to stay on to explore and exchange views with other guests. However, Madam President has taken time out of her very busy schedule, so we won't take more of her time. So, Madam President, may I show the way? Thank you.
好的，那我们刚刚其实已经看到了总统在我们台北宾馆的西厢，已经跟我们所有的 NGO 伙伴结束了这样子的介绍。那么呢，其实等一下我们的外宾使节团还会持续留下来，继续来跟我们的 NGO 伙伴来做交流。那我们今天 Women's Power Night 的活动也就到这边，非常感谢所有线上的观众朋友，在过去2个小时里面非常专心也热情的在线上参与我们今天的女力之夜。请记得将这支影片宣传跟分享出去哦。而这也只是台湾性别平等周系列活动的第1个活动，所以在接下来的几周呢，还有包含我们在3月15号将会有气候正义论坛，请大家持续锁定台湾性别平等周的官方网站。那么呢，也请大家把这支影片分享出去的同时，也要记得按赞分享所有今天同步直播的平台，包含总统蔡英文的脸书、外交部，还有国家妇女馆，以及我还有小红帽的脸书。那非常谢谢大家的参与，我们下次再见喽，拜拜。
海洋资源是永续发展重要的一环，洄游吧不只提供新鲜的渔获给消费者，同时也致力于推动海洋保育的知识。Now please welcome 黄美娟 COO of Fish Bar。接下来让我们欢迎洄游吧黄美娟营运长。
在座的各位贵宾，大家晚安。因为第一次对着长官说话，所以有一些紧张哈。那很高兴可以从花莲来到这边，我是来自花莲七星潭的洄游吧。那我们公司呢是由一群很喜欢大海的伙伴所组成的，所以我们就想说，可不可以大家也跟我们一样爱护海洋，让海洋也可以永续？所以我们呢。就推动了一些有关于食鱼教育跟海洋永续的这样的概念。那因为呢，台湾是一个四面环海，是一个岛屿，而且呢，大家跟海洋的距离呢有多遥远呢？大家住在海边吗？ 好像不住在海边，感觉呢好像跟大海有一点距离。可是呢，我们的餐桌上，我们的日常生活饮食上，很多都是来自海洋的资源。在我们过去曾经台湾的海鲜食用量来讲，我们曾经一度在世界全球的排名是排名第4，所以可见大家其实很爱吃海鲜。那但是呢，我今天呢，可能让大家稍微思考一下，你认识台湾的野生海鱼有几种？大家可以思考一下。鲑鱼哦，不好意思，是进口；鳕鱼哦，也不是我们台湾本地。那你可能会讲台湾鲷，这可以吧？养殖的。虱目鱼